All right, well, people have finally got their hands on the new foldable phones from Samsung and Motorola. We got our hands on a handset on Friday, but people are complaining because they're breaking. Dan Howley, why are they breaking? Besides the obvious,
should have used the breaking.
It's a foldable phone. Like, it seemed okay, but also seemed like it was okay for us to play with two flips here, and then you went back and gave it back to them.
Yeah, we had the Galaxy Z Flip for, I would say, most of a day. And I didn't see any issues with it. What people are reporting now is that, to Samsung's credit, by the way, they tell you that the screen is fragile. Mm-hmm. Don't poke it, don't, whatever. And people in these videos now on YouTube are literally poking it and scratching it with hard objects. And their contention is, look, if this is supposed to be ultra thin glass, as Samsung says, it shouldn't scratch in that way. But this, again, is a new type of product. It needs some time to gestate in these different development cycles. I think for its second go-around, this phone, the Z Flip in particular, is really well done. The Motorola Razr, though, woof.
Well, I guess the question is, though, I mean, we all agreed. Like, we played with the Samsung. It seemed great.
Yeah.
But I think there's kind of two camps here. Like, I am in the camp of my iPhone, the basic smartphone setup, whether it's a Galaxy or an iPhone or, Google, whatever. I think that's fine. Like, I think that kind of is a solved equation for how to do a smartphone best. On the other side, you've got people saying, no, the Flip will bring back some nostalgia, plus it's more interesting, plus it's more compelling. I mean, I feel like the bar to do something that isn't the same form factor is going to be really high. And even though Samsung will say, oh, this was, a first run, and you're saying they could improve it over time, I'm a little bit skeptical that they'll get the leeway from the market to actually do that.
I don't think they're going to get much leeway, only because of the price of these products. And, to be perfectly clear, I don't think people should buy this. I think it's an awesome product.
It's $1,400?
It's $1,380.
Yeah.
Okay.
$1,380 and not waterproof. So, for my, sense of well-being, I wouldn't be able to have a phone that expensive that I can't get wet or I can't have out in the rain. That's my big problem with it. Besides that, I think it's a great product. And, while the classic candy bar style phone that we have now is appealing for sure, all of the manufacturers outside of, at least we think, Apple, are leaning towards this dual screen or foldable form factor. Microsoft specifically building out a new version of Windows for foldable or dual screen devices. They're going to be launching an Android device that's dual screen. Samsung, Huawei, I mean, you name it, these companies are working on it. So it's the next generation, but it's not going to go anywhere if people keep having issues like this.
Okay, so we've set the stage already. It's impractical today. No one's going to spend that much money for a phone that does this. But if it's a proof of concept, is the concept good? Basically, to Miles' point, why would people want a foldable phone over a standard phone in the future? Is it because you have added screen to work with and you could do more multitasking? What is the use case beyond the novelty of it folding? Because to me, I don't think that's very appealing.
Because the other thing, too, is that we also have, a decade plus now of apps and services and behaviors built on the candy bar format. And so you're having to relearn something that wasn't learned in the first place. That makes sense.
It's still a rectangle. It's just the aspect ratio is a little different.
But if you could,
from the 4 to the 5.
But I heard your question saying if you can divide the screen in half, could you do other things?
Right.
If you can flip it around,
and
could you
do
other
UI
things?
would change. Yeah.
Right. And my question would be well, why would that be better? Because we've already built so much around the other way. What are we really gaining by flipping it in half?
I think we learned those behaviors over 10 plus years, right? We were using flip phones prior to that. And then the giant Zach Morris phones before that. So I think people will acclimate. But I think the real reason why people want or may want a phone like this is how many people do you know that constantly say, my phone's too big, I don't want a big phone. And that's where we've gone.
No,
it's not that much thicker.
When it's folded?
It's not that much thicker.
It's chunky, but it's not like the Galaxy Fold was a fatty. This is I don't know if I should say that. It was, whatever. The new one is thinner for sure, but
it's thinner than a pack of cigarettes.
It is, yes, absolutely. And I think for a lot of people, that means something, because you have these devices that sit in your pocket, or you need to put them in a purse or something like that. And, they're gigantic now, but we still want those screens to watch Netflix. And that's where the idea of this Fold comes in. One of the features that Samsung shows off is the dual app functionality, where you can have an app on top and an app on bottom. You could do that with other phones already. I don't really see that as a selling point for myself. I see it as more of, this is a phone that I can fold in half, doesn't take up as much space in my pocket. I can get the basic information on that little front screen, and that's all I need. And I think if that is able to succeed, people will end up purchasing these again. And don't forget, this entire venture is, yes, about making it easier for people to hold their phones, but more so to get people to buy more phones, because the stagnating smartphone market.
And if they keep breaking them, they'll have to keep buying new ones.
Exactly. Damn right.
There's that.
It's about money. On Yahoo Finance. On Yahoo Finance, it's always about money. All right, Dan Howley, talk to you tomorrow.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.